Published 0956 EDT, the 22nd of August 2017. Updated 1033 EDT, the 22nd of August 2017. A chilling North Korean propaganda video appears to show Donald Trump staring at the apocalyptic remains of U.S. territory Guam. The footage released by Kim Jong-un's state-run media featured a macabre shot of Trump at cemetery, apparently in Guam, and Vice President Mike Pence engulfed in flames. It emerges on the same day the two nations went head-to-head during a debate at the United Nations, with Pyongyang's envoy vowing it would never give up its nuclear arsenal. The video showed North Korea launching the ballistic missiles and its troops marching in unison through Pyongyang. Americans should live with their eyes and ears wide open, the caption is believed to read. A chilling North Korean propaganda video appears to show Donald Trump staring at the apocalyptic remains of U.S. territory Guam. The footage released by Kim Jong-un's state-run media featured a macabre shot of Trump at cemetery, apparently in Guam, and North Korean soldiers marching with weaponry. The video emerges shortly after the reclusive nation threatened to turn the U.S. into a heap of ashes in response to the American war games in the neighboring South. Picture it goes on, they will be tormented day and night by the Hwasong-12 rockets without knowing when they will be launched. They will be in jitters. It is the latest escalation in a fiery war of words between Trump and Kim since the North Korean leader threatened to level Guam, an American territory around 2,100 miles from the Korean peninsula. The video emerges shortly after the reclusive nation threatened to turn the U.S. into a heap of ashes in a typically aggressive response to the American war games in the neighboring South. The Ulchi Freedom Guardian drills, which themselves are a response to the North's nuclear tests, are largely computer-simulated. South Korea's President, Moon Jae-in, said the drills are defensive in nature and necessary because of repeated provocations by North Korea. But Pyongyang branded the 11-day exercise a reckless invasion rehearsal that could trigger the uncontrollable phase of a nuclear war. Today's fiery confrontation at the UN was sparked when the U.S. envoy highlighted Trump's focus on protecting his nation from North Korea and that he was ready to use the full range of capabilities at our disposal to do so. The footage is the latest escalation in a fiery war of words between Trump pictured and Kim since the North Korean leader threatened to level Guam. It also showed North Korea launching the ballistic missiles, which forced the U.S. and other nations to impose economic sanctions on the reclusive nation. North Korea's ballistic missile and nuclear weapons programs pose grave threats to the entire world, U.S. Disarmament Ambassador Robert Wood told the Geneva Forum. He added its recent ICBM tests are another example of the dangerous, reckless behavior of the North that is destabilizing the region and beyond. Meanwhile, North Korea diplomat Joo Young-kol said that measures taken by his country to strengthen its nuclear deterrent and develop intercontinental rockets were justifiable and a legitimate option. He said as long as the U.S. hostile policy and nuclear threat remains unchallenged, the DPRK will never place its self-defensive nuclear deterrence on the negotiating table. This month, President Donald Trump pledged to answer North Korean aggression with fire and fury. North Korea, for its part, threatened to launch missiles toward the American territory of Guam. The Ulchi Freedom Guardian drills in South Korea, which themselves are a response to the North's nuclear tests, are largely computer-simulated. South Korea's President, Moon Jae-in, said on Monday. The drills are defensive in nature. Pyongyang today vowed merciless retaliation for the exercises, branding both the UK and US as weaker states. A statement by the state-run Korean Central News Agency branded the US imperialists and South Korea as war maniacs. The US imperialists and the South Korean war maniacs Monday launched Ulchi Freedom Guardian joint military drills aimed at a preemptive attack on the DPRK, KCNA stated according to Xinhua News Agency. Even mercenaries from 7 vassal countries, including Australia and the UK, have joined them. The situation on the Korean peninsula has plunged into a critical phase due to the reckless North-targeted war racket of the war maniacs. The KCNA also attacked Trump, describing him as a leader who frequently tweets weird articles of his ego-driven thoughts and spouts rubbish to give his assistants a hard time. It criticized South Korea's puppy-like defense minister, who it said was running wild while relying on the master of the White House. Pyongyang today vowed merciless retaliation for the exercises pictured, branding both the UK and US as weaker states. North Korean state media also lashed out at President Donald Trump, accusing him of spouting rubbish on Twitter. This came after US military commanders dismissed the calls for Washington and Seoul to pause or downsize their joint military exercises. The Ulchi Freedom Guardian drills are largely computer-simulated war games held every summer, and this year's exercise involves 17,500 American troops and 50,000 South Korean soldiers. No field training like live fire exercises or tank maneuvering is involved in the drills, in which alliance officers sit at computers to practice how they would engage in battles and hone their decision-making capabilities.